Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're going to kick off our IRL tabletop series in the Paradox Rift format, and we're going to start things off with Chien-Pao EX Baxcalibur, which includes the new Iron Hands EX Pokemon. Definitely a new scary one from this set that amp you very much attack. Being able to take additional prize cards is going to really change how the Chien-Pao Baxcalibur is going to be built here. Yes, it's a similar shell to the previous format where we had many of the same Pokemon in the deck list. However, to sculpt multiple prize turns against single prize matchups, we had to have the pretty convoluted combination of Cancelling Cologne Cross Switcher as well as our Moonlight Shuriken. Now, Radiant Greninja is still a fantastic attacker and still has to be respected, but Iron Hands gives us a much easier way of taking multi-prize knockouts on single-prize Pokemon. I think this definitely flips a couple of key matchups for us. Definitely going to be really helpful into the Lost Zone matchup, where Iron Hands is going to be a really pesky Pokemon for them to deal with in one hit, and may force even more multi-prize Pokemon onto the opponent's board, so we can maintain a pretty favourable prize trade. Even though we just have one copy of the Iron Hands EX in the deck, we are playing a couple copies of Super Rod, we have lots of Ball Search cards, we can reload the Iron Hands when need be, especially because just one Superior Energy Retrieval can be used to power up the Iron Hands all in one turn. We're playing two copies of Lightning Energy. It may look a little bit difficult to tutor out, but we have the Earthen Vessel item card from the new set, which can be tutored via Irida. And let's not forget, if ever we're naturally drawing into these Lightning Energy, we can simply use concealed cards, bank it in the discard pile for our Superior Energy Retrievals whenever we need them. And of course, we're going to be slamming that Pokestop. You can see just how many items we have in the deck list. We're going to be using that to give ourselves extra reach during the game, to get our Ball Search in the opening stages, look towards our candy combinations, and of course, make sure we're still hitting those Superiors and those Cross Switchers for the Power Spike turns. So it shouldn't be too difficult for us to make use of those Lightning Energy pretty easily and even have some reload in there. Ultimately, the deck should still be quite familiar. The counts are very similar to the current builds of Chien-Pao Baxcalibur, but simply subbing out the Cross Switchers and a few other of the clunkier cards in the deck list and getting to play an extra basic energy, an Earthen Vessel, and a Pokemon in Iron Hands, which is easily tutorable, we should have a much easier, more streamlined time of things, so should have a small buff of consistency. And Iron Hands means that we should ideally be looking to take 4-turn games in almost every situation, where we have a turn of setting up our board, then we evolve into Baxcalibur, and from then on we should be taking a 2-prize knockout on everything, be it with Iron Hands onto the lower hit point stuff, or with Shivery Chill combinations and big Hailblade KOs onto the higher hit point decks in the game. So ideally, we should have a pretty easy map to victory in pretty much every matchup. The deck that Chien-Pao is going to be coming up against is the Rapid Strike Iron Valiant EX build, a pretty combo-centric approach for this deck, where we are trying to use multiple Iron Valiant EX to capitalize on their Tachyon Bits ability, where once it comes into the active, we put 2 counters on one of our opponent's Pokemon. As you can see, with a huge number of Switch, Rope, Cart, and even the Future Booster Energy Capsule, the new tool from this set, can provide free retreat for our Iron Valiants themselves. We're going to be dancing between these throughout the entire game and targeting down lower hit point evolving Pokemon, ideally to put them in range of a Yoga-Loop so we can knock them out and take an additional turn. Really, really powerful effect. Much faster than the double gunner combos that we've seen with previous Rapid Strike builds, and you'll notice that we have no way to attack with Iron Valiants. It's simply here for the ability, because we have such efficient 1-energy attachment attackers in Urshifu and Medicham. And of course, we have that G-Max Rapid Flow option with the Urshifu VMAX. That's why I feel fairly comfortable playing no Gust in this deck, because with Tachyon Bits and G-Max Rapid Flow, we should have really good control over our opponent's board, even without actual Gust supporters within the deck list. It's really trying to be quite a combo-orientated build. There will possibly be other ways to play Iron Valiant EX in this format, but this was one I really wanted to try out because I'm pretty terrified of Iron Valiant EX. I think it can get very scary turn 1s and 2s, and pushing with Research and Squawkabilly could actually allow you to access a ton of these cards pretty quickly. We even have Trekking Shoes in here. We have Forest Seal Stone for real big pop-off turns, so it's going to be a really interesting deck in the format and could certainly be keeping evolution decks in check. We'd love to hear your thoughts on both deck lists and the archetypes themselves. If you've been testing anything else, we'd love to hear it in the discussion down below. But for now, let's get on with the games. If you're looking for PTCG live codes, make sure you check out the Pao-Town store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. So as you can see, I am going to be on the left. I'm going to be playing the Chien-Pao side of things. I have just mulliganed over to Jack. He is going to be playing the Rapid Strike Valiant list in the shiny Charger Bug sleeves. So happy that I was able to pick up so many awesome artwork sleeves in Japan, so there should be a treat almost every one of these IRL videos. Jack's going to kick things off. He's going first. He has that Squawkabilly EX in the active position and has a Hisuian Heavy Ball, so we can immediately check out his prize cards, and he also picks up a Valiant EX. I've started with Iron Hands, a really annoying chunky retreat cost Pokemon. That is one of the only downsides of having an Iron Valiant, and it's the reason why you only ever really want to play one copy, because this deck really would prefer to have one retreat cost Pokemon. But look at this. Jack is then able to double Battle VIP Pass. There are going to be a number of proxies in these lists. I've got, we've got like 15 or so decks built between us, and I just don't have enough of all of these cards. So bear with us with some of these proxies. I'm going to try and talk you through it the entire time. But Jack is going to get a quick Tachyon Bits onto an Iron Valiant EX, and then is going to Squawkabilly his hand away. Looks like he got rid of an Iono and a Nest Ball. Has the Town Store in the deck. We are playing those Forest Seal Stones and the Future Boosters, so it's a really nice stadium to have in the list. We are going to see the Forest Seal Stone get popped here from Jack, and he's just going to grab a Rapid Strike Energy. Really terrifying, actually, for this deck to get a turn 1 attachment down, because now I also have to look to get Manaphy developed, or else I'm going to fall prey to the early G-Max Rapid Flow, and I could be losing a ton of bench Pokemon, regardless of how many Tachyon Bits Jack gets going. So it looks like he's pretty happy there. He has a Research for next turn, has some pivot options, so he's going to pass things over there. And I also start off with the Battle VIP Pass. It was a really nice start. We're both getting pretty well set up here. Jack pretty much with the ideal turn 1 situation with Research to go next turn. I'm going to get the 70 hit point Frigibax out for a little bit of defense here. It's an extra Pokemon to... Oh, sorry, it's an extra Tachyon Bits Jack will need. The camera does go a little bit fuzzy here. I have to apologize for that, but it does correct itself in not too long. So please put up with it while I get my turn 1 shenanigans going. We're going to Nest Ball out another Frigibax here. I Irided for the Manaphy as well, so we should be going wide. I also have the Chien-Pao. I have the Rope, actually, to move this Iron Hands early, which is really nice, so I can get some Shivery Chill action going. Leading the Iron Hands is really annoying, not only because I've had to move it, which I have been able to achieve, but also because it means I don't have space now to use a Radiant Greninja, because I need to have double Frigi to respect the Tachyon Bit stuff, and I also need to respect the Rapid Flow, so no chance to weave in the Radiant Greninja here. We're just going to get a turn attachment onto the Chien-Pao before passing things over to Jack, who kicks off with an Escape Rope, is going to quickly get a Tachyon Bits going. I have 2 Frigis down, so I'd like to see the Bidoof here get targeted first, because it's a 60 hit point Pokemon, pretty easy to achieve the KO on, and we are going to see the second Bits into the Professor's Research here, which is looking excellent. Looks like he has a couple Trekking Shoes in the deck as well. We are trying to make this as turbo as possible to really let our combos fly here. Jack's able to Ultra Ball, is going to grab the Urshifu V Max, so has an attack established here, even if they're unable to find a Yoga-Loop play. They could just go for a Tachyon KO on the Bidoof, and then also just go for a attack with the Urshifu. We are going to see the third Valiant come into the active position, and it will just take out the Bidoof, and Jack doesn't find another Rapid Strike Energy, so is just going to Gale Thrust through the active. This does give me a chance to actually take a big knockout here. Without a Big Barrel, though, it's a big combination. I think I actually had some Big Barrel in hand, so I think I'm a little ways off, even with the double Shivery Chill here, from knocking out a VMAX Pokemon. It's still a little bit too large for me, unfortunately. I don't know how much draw I have in the hand right now. Looks like it's going to be a turn attachment of Lightning to the Iron Hands, which isn't always a good sign. I'm going to throw 4 energy onto the active. Actually, it looks like I'm taking that back, because if I can't get a KO, I need to keep some energy around just in case I get randomly trapped or something like that. So I'm just going to hold on to these energy for now. But we're really in trouble, because Jack could Yoga-Loop the Manaphy this turn. It's such a low hit point Pokemon, but that could be trouble for us. And if that's the case, then possibly even the Baxcalibur is going to be in danger. Jack has Rope to Rope, and there you go, the camera's back in good shape here. We're seeing the third Valiant come into the active. That's 60 damage, Tachyoned onto this Manaphy out of nowhere. Then Jack has another Research. Can he find the Rapid Strike Energy? Yes, he can. which is terrifying because it will be a Yoga-Loop play now from him with the free retreat with the future booster, and Jack will take his second turn in a row. This is why the archetype is so terrifying. Let's see how Jack can make things happen. I think I already see the fighting energy, so there can be a rapid flow here, and he looks like he has enough switch cards to put the Baxcalibur in range. There's the fighting energy attachment, and there goes my Baxcalibur. So even with a full board turn 2 my end, pretty well established, Jack's been able to pick this apart without really any retort here. Even has the Thornton, is able, of course, to use another support card because it's a new turn, so is even able to get that going with the second Urshifu powered up. I have a damaged Chien-Pao. I can Shivery Chill, but as you can see, there's nothing in my deck that can help me at this stage. Had I put all my energy on, maybe I have a chance of just taking some prizes here, but even then, Jack is 2 prize cards away from the game, and this Chien-Pao is easily going down as long as he has access to a switch card and is able to take that from the top from the trekking shoe. Actually, doesn't have energy still, so might have to Iono here to have access to that final Gale Thrust to end the game. As long as the other VMAX is in deck, that's another out as well, so Ultra Balls are out. Has plenty of ways of finishing off the game here. And there is the Rapid Strike energy off the 2 from Iono, and it's going to completely annihilate the Chien-Pao deck. I wasn't able to take a single prize card that game. So yeah, very scary stuff. A really good start for Jack there. Got the double VIP pass, of course, which helps. But just had so much maneuverability and control over my board. I wasn't really able to make anything come off. The Chien-Pao deck is really specific in terms of what cards it needs to draw. Without Radiant Greninja space, because I started Iron Hands, it's a lot worse. And without Big Barrel, of course, you really have to draw some specific cards to even get your candy combo off in the first place. So we're going to hope to do a little bit better in this next game where I get to go first. It's a little bit scary because Jack actually could donk me with Tachyon Bits if I just lead a Frigi or a Bidoof and have nothing else. That could be a huge issue for us. So we're going to hope to avoid that. And we'll get into the second game now. Jack's going to be shuffling up. I believe that was a Mulligan. Not too sure, though. I can see Ball Search in my opening hand, so I have Vip and Nest Ball at least. So I should be getting into the game as long as I actually get to have a turn. So we'll have to see. I think I just have Big Barrels in my hand for draw, though. So once again, we know that Jack has great capacity to just knock these guys out as we go. That could be a huge issue. We're going to get to go first here. Oh yeah, of course, Jack went first in the first game. So we are doing best of 2s in this series. Let me know how you like that. We're giving both decks a chance to go first is the idea here. And hopefully it means the videos don't drag on for too long. And it means that it's not going to take forever to edit all these videos and get them out to you guys every night. That's the idea. So I get a ton of energy in the mix early on, Pokemon into the mix early on, which is fantastic. So I've got to be pretty happy with that. Once again, I've developed double Frigi to try and protect myself as much as possible from Tachyon shenanigans. Do I have a way into Chien-Pao? No, I don't. So I can't draw a Greninja, don't have a way into Shivery Chill. So we're just going to pass things over to Jack, who looks like he has, again, a really similar hand. He has that Hisuian start, and I think there's also a VIP pass as well. Actually prized the Squawkabilly, which is massive here because it's a really big card in the deck. We've actually considered a second copy because it's so important to get that either turn 1 donk or just have this extra turn 2 reach to get as many early Valiants in as possible before the opponent has a chance to evolve up. Jack is going to VIP a couple Valiants early and has, I believe, another VIP in hand. If he's getting 4 Pokemon out, you got to think that's what's happening here because there's also Metacham coming in. This is, again, the ideal board state, really, for the deck. We are seeing the triple Valiant come in. There you go, there is the next VIP pass. He then has the trekking shoe that he is debating over. I think there's a switch out, which is the debate here. Obviously, he could just like turn attach, get a switch in Tachyon Bits, and then Squawk. It is going to be the Tachyon onto Bidoof again, sticking with the same idea as last time. Chooses not to get a turn attachment in, wants to have the option to Yoga-Loop, which I think is super reasonable. Still has Forest Hill Stone rooting around in the deck as well. Still has Supporter to play this turn, of course, so has so much dig. There's the Forest Hill Stone, which is fantastic. Actually draws into 2 of them, and has a few switch cards in here as well. Has, wow, a lot of switch cards, actually. Going to be a Rope, first of all. We're going to go into the Bidoof, and then we're going to go into the Chen, so I have Shivery Chill possibilities. The Bidoof is getting pinged down. Now the Frigibax is getting pinged down, so we know that Jack has the option to Yoga-Loop. I think they have a couple plays, actually. They could go for the guaranteed Rapid Strike energy, but then their hand really doesn't do much after that, or they could go Research and hope to hit, which is the debate between them. I think his hand is dead otherwise, so it is going to be the Research. I much prefer this play, because even if you are getting that second turn, you're basically putting yourself in top deck plus random prize mode to actually get, you know, any capitalize on your extra turn. And now Jack has a big hand, is able to Town Store out the final tool in his deck, actually, the other Future Booster, and is going to initiate his turn 1 with a Yoga-Loop on Bidoof. It's just that simple, and that's super scary for us. So we will see the Medicham come in, and the Bidoof is once again going down, and he will initiate turn 2 of the game after taking a prize card and drawing for turn. We see a lot of switch outs in there, which is terrifying. There's no mana field on this board either, but fortunately there shouldn't be an easy way for Jack to rapid flow us unless he has a Thornton in the hand. I know his other Urshifu is in the discard pile, so there could be a way that he actually goes Thornton rapid flow this turn, but I don't think it's lined up in his hand too easily. We are seeing lots of Tachyon bits come in for a Frigibax KO. I see another prize. It's just that heavy ball refund, which isn't ideal. Lots of energy though. We're going to see the attachment to Medicham. It's actually a valid attacker here for the second attack in the deck, 100 damage. Shouldn't be sniffed at when you have the Tachyon bits around. There's going to be the Hisuian again, just for another Valiant out of the deck. He is holding on to an Iono. I only have a 4-card hand though, so there's definitely reason to like not using the supporter here. Especially because you're not taking a prize card, so yeah, it's going to be 100 damage with the Smash Uppercut. And I'm actually going to Iono, so I need a lot off this 6-card hand. I definitely need to candy backs if I'm going to do anything this game. But I also need to have enough energy to actually get through this Medicham, which is super tough. Even with Shivery Chill, it could be difficult. I do have draws from Radiant Greninja at least. There goes a Lightning Energy. Doesn't really help us on our quest to get a knockout here. We're going to attach Retreats to get a Shivery Chill down. So 2 energy currently in our discard pile. Only 60 damage though if I was to have like a Retrieval or anything like that. Still trying to see if we can get that Bat's Caliber going. If we can, we have a chance. It's going to be Ultra Ball of Nest Ball Pokestop. And it is Bat's Caliber, so that's a good sign. It means we are going to be evolving here. I even got rid of a Pokestop, so... Oh, wow, we actually had the 4 energy. What a perfect hand to take the KO there. We drew into so many energy from that Iono. It was massive. So I actually keep up in tempo here. And it's... With all the energy wiped off the board, the Bat's Caliber's in fairly good shape. It's probably not getting knocked out this turn, at least. The one thing I have to bear in mind is that it's also quite difficult for a Yoga-Loop play. I think Jack actually just Trekking Shoot away the Thornton there as well. So it's probably just going to have to Tachyon down the Greninja by the looks of things. And then we'll look to also start putting some damage on the Bat's Caliber. If he just gets an attachment in on the Urshifu, I think that's a really solid play. I just have a random 2-card hand, right? Let's not forget. Jack's going to see 7 cards here. Still no attachment yet, which is a bit of a worry for him. Going to be another Tachyon. He's going to take a prize card. I believe there was an Urshifu VMAX in the prizes. There was also some Ultra Balls as well, so that could be helping him out. Looks like he's keeping the Rapid Strike energy. That's a really nice Trekking Shoe for him, so he can start threatening the Rapid Flow next turn. It's going to be another Rope. I'm forced into Bat's Caliber, which is really annoying. Now, Jack actually puts a... Yeah, I think this is fine. To Tachyon the active and also put 3 more on with a Strafe here to put the Bat's Caliber in range of a Tachyon bits, of a Rapid Flow next turn. I get the Superior from prize cards, so I can Superior to pay Retreat this back, so then I can Shivery Chill, and that means my hand is 4 energy once again, so I can actually take another knockout here with Hail Blade, so we are working off no hand, but we are getting the tempo rolling here, and we are just 1 knockout away from winning. However, if Jack's able to Rapid Flow this turn, I will once again be stuck in a position where I cannot close the game at all. My board will be completely picked apart. So it really is coming down to if Jack can find VMAX plus energy here. I see energy, 3 cards left in deck. I'm not sure if the other VMAX got discarded. The thing that might be holding Jack back here is if he doesn't have access to the other VMAX. It may have been milled. Let's have a look. I'm holding it too close to myself to really find out. I know there's a VMAX in prize cards, which has hurt him. If he doesn't have access to VMAX, he could just swing with 100 Furious Blows and say that another random 2-card hand is unlikely to beat him. I also think a rope here would have been huge. I think there may have still been rope in the deck, and I think he's just whiffed it. We're going to see the tachyon bits onto the active. And then just the 100 Furious Blows here to finish off the turn by the looks of things. So I basically just need to find another superior to actually win this game, surprisingly. And we top deck the Irida. That is gross. And yeah, you can see Jack's prized Urshifu VMAX there right at the end that stopped him having a means of closing out the game. I think there was also rope in the bottom 3 as well. So Jack, quite unfortunate to not win both games in the series there, but it does show off the power of the Rapid Strike Valiant deck quite well, and it does show you that Chien-Pao can still live on a prayer and just has that beat stick potential to get through opposing 2-prize decks. Let me know your thoughts on today's battle video. Did Iron Valiant impress you? Did Chien-Pao do anything that you liked during the game? Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. Cheers.